Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're taking the show on the road. Pets are very dear and special to me, and we thought we would take this opportunity to come out and give you a little tour of the Santa Rosa Animal Shelter and let you learn about it. I'll have to warn you ahead of time, it's a very noisy place, so bear with the noise, but we hope you'll enjoy this. We hope it educates you, and hey, reach out there and grab a pet and take care of him this week.
And spay and neuter them.
And spay and neuter your pets, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important.
We have an average of about 200 animals daily here at the shelter.
That come in per day, or that you're holding per day?
That are here daily.
Okay. And so you have about 200 right now. You're full to capacity.
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a seasonal thing? Is that, is it getting worse with the, I guess you said it was getting a little bit worse with the economy.
We just tend to notice that our kennels stay full. If there is a vacancy, it is soon filled, or it is filled by the end of the day. We do everything that we possibly can to try to, find the dogs and cats that are suitable for adoption, healthy enough for adoption, that they meet our criteria. Our adoptions are up amazingly with the economy being the way that it is. Our numbers are increasing. But I feel that if we could do more, those numbers would probably triple if there was more that we could do.
As far as the number adopted?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you? Hi.
And who's this?
Came in as a stray. We sent him to the groomers yesterday, so he looks amazing. Open it up.
That's Parker?
All of the dogs are named by the shelter staff, and we learned about their personalities while they're strays here at the shelter. So we try to help place them in homes with folks that are compatible.
What do people get out of pets? Why do people own pets?
The sheer satisfaction of having a companion. Someone who loves you unconditionally. You can have had a bad day at work and come home and, this pet's going to greet you and just love you and give you kisses and just make you feel better. I imagine it's a good stress relief for us human beings, reduces blood pressure, and medically there are scientific facts to prove that. So, it's a win-win for us to own a pet.
Do you see an increase usually around Christmas time of people wanting to come in and adopt a puppy or a kitten and put it under the tree?
Occasionally we do get people that want to come in and adopt a pet for their child, or maybe it's someone that recently lost a pet. And it's wonderful, and we appreciate the patronage that we get from our citizens. But we really try to discourage people from doing gifts for pets, because the person may not be prepared. And like I said, research needs to go into that breed, and it needs to be a bond between that person and that animal, and that makes the best positive match.
So this is the last thing you want to sort of have an impulse purchase on.
Absolutely. Like I said, this is a lifetime commitment to this pet, and those involved need to be prepared and acceptance of that responsibility.
And of course that includes spaying and neutering. A little while ago there was a county program that would encourage people to spay and neuter their animals. That was vouchers, I think, or?
Actually, it's, the license tags, the Florida Friendly tag. That money goes into spay and neuter throughout the whole state of Florida. We applied for the grant, and we had one of our employees that was really probably the most important part of that grant. She worked on it, she done a lot of information, a lot of research on it, and we actually got a grant for $18,000. It's a one-time, but you can apply again in 2 years.
You all know how many animals were spayed or neutered as a result of that?
It was 300, it was almost 400, wasn't it? 400, almost 400 animals.
Yeah.
And is that something that maybe could be repeated in the future?
We're going to try again, and we're going to look for other avenues to come up with some kind of programs too, because that made a big difference too. You can actually talk about probably hundreds of thousands of animals based on just the few animals, 400, that are not going to have any more puppies or kittens. And it's just you just keep on working at it and developing new programs.
So if you neuter one animal, you're like you said, you're talking about maybe potentially hundreds of thousands that don't get born and then
You're
have to be
right.
put to sleep down the road.
Exactly.
Is the financial side of it, is that probably the main reason people don't neuter their animals?
Today especially, yes, I think that is a problem.
I don't think that folks do it intentionally, but, you know, not getting your animals spayed and neutered definitely affects everyone, you know, whether they be four-legged or two-legged. We're glad to be here to serve our community, but, you know, having to euthanize animals, it's awful. You know, I'm just going to be honest with you. It's awful to have to see those innocent animals be put to sleep for no reason, just because there's nowhere to send them. It's awful.
You know, we know the animals suffer a lot with the amount of them that are out there, but I imagine it's got to be difficult on the shelter workers when they have to. I mean, they have to put these animals to sleep. That's got to be hard on them emotionally.
Well, when I first started here 5 years ago, I pretty much could tell the day that they were doing euthanasias. It really is. You can see it in their faces. You can go back there, and when you actually see an animal being put to sleep, it's like every one of those animals are their animals. They are holding them. They're talking to them.
That's got to be awfully hard on those people. And again, and of course that's why we're here, just to reiterate it. If people would just spay and neuter their animals, it would cut down on hundreds of thousands. I mean, we know that throughout this community and of course throughout the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how much does it run in this area to have your animal neutered?
Depending on gender and size, I would say, you know, probably between 80 and 100 for a small animal. And if you do some research, you know, and do some price checking, you can get good rates. All of the Santa Rosa veterinarians work with the shelter, and any animal that's adopted from the shelter, they give that adoptive parent a discount, whether it be 20% or a free office visit. So it varies from veterinarian practice to veterinarian practice. But they do offer some incentives to help offset the cost of adopting that pet.
And we have plenty of veterinarians in the area, including the Scambia at Santa Rosa. I think Scambia's got something like 24, maybe even 30. And we've got 12 here in this county, so there's plenty of availability.
And y'all require that puppies and kittens, that somebody who adopts puppies and kittens have to neuter them at some point down the road.
It's actually a state statute too. It's required for shelters, county shelters, to have the animals spayed or neutered.
And many of your older animals are already neutered. I assume people, if they wanted to adopt an older animal,
We do get animals in here that are already altered, and honestly, you know, the fee is very minimal to adopt a pet that's already altered here, and you know, those usually get adopted sooner than others. So good morning, this is Cinderella. She was an owner surrendered to the shelter. She is a spayed female, about 4 years old. Wonderful, very affectionate cat, as you can see here. She's just one of the many that are available here for adoption at the shelter.
Cinderella.
Yeah. So I need a prince to come take me home. Come here, sweetheart.
Say hello to Cinderella.
Say hi.